think it's really important to make sure that I'm sharing the full story here and being as transparent as possible because whilst yes, I did make a significant sum of money, almost £16,500 whilst I was on maternity leave last month, and that is not an insignificant amount of money, right? Some people that's their entire wage for the year, it's half their wage for a year in 1 month. But that is top line revenue. That is not profit, and it is certainly not what is sitting in my back pocket every single month. So, of that £16,500, almost £7,000 of that money goes away in two forms of taxes straight away. The first one is VAT at 20%, and the second one is corporation tax at 25% after I've deducted my expenses. And I have to siphon away that money and I pay VAT quarterly, and then I pay corporation tax at the end of my financial year once my accounts have been filed, and I pay that money to HMRC. So 45% of that money is gone. I never see it, never touch it. Then if I wanted to have any personal cash from that money, I would then deduct all the taxes. I'm left with about £7,000 after expenses as well. Of that £7,000 pot, if I wanted to withdraw, let's say, all of that money, which I wouldn't do, but if I withdrew all of that income, I would then have to save my personal tax on that deduction, deduct it myself, put it away, again, save it in a separate pot to pay to HMRC. So at the prevailing rate, whatever that is, depending on where my tax is sitting for the year. So on average, I save about 34% of that money, when if I were to withdraw from a limited company, I would then put 34% of that withdrawal away somewhere else. Let's just say, for talking's sake, that I did take £7,000 of that £16,500 I made last month. I would be putting 34% of that away, and I'd be left with around about £4,500 in my pocket, cash available for me to spend. And again, that is really amazing money, right? That is more than most people earn in an average salary that they get in their take-home pay every single month. But I think it's just really important to be clear that when you're making this like really significant top-line revenue, that's not necessarily what you can, should, or are even able to take into your back pocket every single month, because there's a lot of taxes to pay. And I know it's so easy to get swept up in the £10,000, £15,000, £20,000 a month top line revenue targets, and thinking, if I made that much money, that would be so amazing. I would be completely financially free. I wouldn't return to work. I would be on holidays all the time. I'd be buying a house. I'd be buying a car, whatever. But when you actually break it down, you've got to be making really, really so much more money than that at the top line for it to make a real significant impact and make you financially free on the bottom line.